Welcome to Warren Township High School.
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 Where diversity and innovation.
Where diversity and innovation.
Where diversity and innovation
inspire the next generation of leaders.
Welcome, family and friends of our Blue Devils, and welcome, class of 2020, to our virtual commencement ceremony. At this time, we will honor America, our veterans, fallen soldiers, active members of the armed forces, and current members of the class of 2020 who will proudly serve our country with the singing of the national anthem by choir members in the class of 2020, directed by Mr. Ben Westfall.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to our senior choir members for their beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Again, welcome to our virtual commencement ceremony for Warren Township High School's class of 2020. I am Rob Parrott, principal of the Almond campus, and I have the honor to share with you some thoughts. I would like to mention and thank people who have played an important role in the success of the class of 2020. First, I would like to thank the administration and staff at both campuses for playing a major role in working with our students the past 4 years. Next, I would like to recognize our parents and guardians. On behalf of the staff and administration, we appreciate the partnership we have formed to help develop our students. And finally, thank you to the Board of Education for their continued support of our programs that have helped develop our students so they can thrive. Board President Paul Schultz, Vice President John Anderson, Board Secretary Jim Walls, and members Betsy Beals, Tony DeMonte, Tom Drake, and Jonita Wilson. Thank you for your commitment to making sure our staff and students are successful. Each year, we start our school year by communicating with our staff a word that will center our work. It helps guide all of our professional conversations and improvements we want to make. In the past, we have used words like innovation and design. This year, we started with the word challenge. Now, I find it a little ironic that we chose the word challenge in the summer of 2019, and 8 months later, we ended up having a global pandemic outbreak. That is not at all what we had in mind. However, I now believe that the word challenge was the perfect word to center our work with our staff during the school year, and the perfect word for me to use to address our class of 2020 graduates. I am fully aware that we were all blindsided when March of 2020 came along, and how challenging the past few months have been. Our normal way of life and our traditional milestones were canceled or postponed. Many events, performances, recognitions, and seasons were canceled. This year did not end the way any of us wanted it to end, and for that, I am sorry. But when major events in life happen to you in the future, please remember that you have 3 choices on how to respond to them. You can, 1, let it define you, 2, let it destroy you, or 3, let it strengthen you. When trying to make sense of everything that happened, I am reminded by musician Jason Mraz in one of my favorite songs that the sun is about 93 million miles from the earth. And because of that, sometimes things can seem a little dark. But he also reminds me that the absence of the light is a necessary part of life. You know that as well as any class that has ever graduated from Warren Township High School. Think for a moment. What if the end of the 2020 school year was like any other? What if the pain, discomfort, frustration, raw emotion you have felt the past several months never happened? Would you have awoke from the slumber to see a need in our world to do better? Would you have realized that tomorrow is never promised? Would you truly understand the significant role essential workers play in our economy? Would you realize that your health, your youth, and your own lives are not forever? Would you have seen a need to work together and do your part for the greater common good of humanity? What if your class, your generation is the one the world has been waiting for to make systemic change for the better, and this was the moment to start it all? I am now a firm believer that what we experienced happened for a reason. It was a challenge designed to define us, destroy us, or strengthen us. You have learned valuable lessons in the classroom, and more importantly, over the last 4 years, lessons outside of the classroom about acceptance, understanding, and compassion for others. Continue to allow these life experiences to help define you, always strengthen you, and never destroy you. Use this moment to your advantage. Our complex world needs your empathy, insight, spirit, commitment, and leadership. You have the power to demonstrate that there is a light in everybody, and I want you to continue to send out your ray of sunshine to the world. Class of 2020, only hindsight will determine your impact on the world. I now challenge you not to rest on the merits of your success, but to use the skills you have acquired as the most tolerant, most understanding, most informed, and most prepared group of Warren Township High School graduates to strengthen our world. It is time for you to challenge others to have 2020 vision. Thank you to all of our students for an outstanding 4 years. Best of luck in all your future holds. Congratulations, and as always, go Blue Devils.
Our class is very close together, and this pandemic, everything that's happened, everything canceling, everything adapting, changing, brought us to be more united.
E-learning was a real struggle for me, just figuring out how everything works and how to time manage on my own. But I think that's really got me ready for college and got me ready for life beyond high school. It was a good experience.
Over the past 4 years, I've always been surrounded by loving and caring people, whether it be my friends or teachers here and other staff. I've just been so welcomed.
I've met so many wonderful friends. I've had so many amazing opportunities, and being able to grow from the shy kid that I used to be into somebody that I am proud to say I am has been one of my favorite parts of being here.
And to have just that environment around me just gave me such a great release.
I love so much about Warren. I love that there's so many opportunities for every kinds of people, and that there's new challenges every day, and the staff and the students really help us thrive and get over those challenges so we can become better people and better students.
When I first transferred here, I expected y'all to just be another face in the crowd, but they actually were really nice. They really took an interest in me.
When I walk in the building, I feel like it's my second home. I mean, I get up every morning and I'm like, oh, it's school, time to get up, time to drive to school. But when I get in there, it's my second home. That's where I am.
I wasn't supposed to cry!
She's doing great.
See, that's why I love them, because they're so supportive.
Somebody asks, what is this school all about? You would say, we are
Warren. I would say that we are a community of loving and amazing people.
We are Warren.
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 We are Warren! Woo!
At this time, please welcome our first honored student presenter, Kaylee Rychel, who will share her thoughts.
For those of you that don't know me, hi, I'm Kaylee Rychel. We went to high school together. I might not be the valedictorian, captain of a varsity sports team, or prom queen for that matter. But one time, one of my friends told me that I give some okay advice. So here I am. Before I begin, let's get on the same page. This is not a how-to. There are a number of subjects I feel qualified enough to give tutorials or how-to articles on. How to hit the snooze button about 10 times, yet still make it to Almond by 7:22 a.m., a remarkable talent of mine I hope to share with the world someday. How to find out exactly who number 17 on the opposing team is using only a Max Preps roster and an Instagram search bar, another title I've dabbled with a few times. And how to finish your English paper due to Canvas at 11:59 p.m. by precisely 11:58 p.m., a classic dreamt of teaching for about 4 years now. However, how to prepare for the next chapter of your life is a topic not included in my repertoire of how-tos, because I'm simply no expert. I have very little confidence that my viewpoint on the future will change your life, but at the very least, I hope it leaves you with an idea to ponder. To quote the author John Green, who has, in essence, transformed my perspective on life, imagine others complexly. Although we are here together, we are all different. It is with that in mind that we begin to realize that human nature in itself is a very complex thing. From the day that you were born to the moment that you sat in that chair today, you did not live the same life as a single one of the 1,007 students surrounding you. Within your past 4 years of high school, not a single one of you endured the same challenges, suffered the same heartbreak, encountered the same adventures, or fell in love with the same aspects of life. Regardless of the fact that each and every one of us walked through the same halls of Warren Township and learned between the same walls, not a single one of our experiences can perfectly replicate another. We as individuals have difficulty seeing beyond the bubble that encloses our own lives. As we get older and we begin to turn the page to the next chapter of our lives, it becomes difficult to shatter the illusion that our beliefs and the way we choose to approach our futures are somehow right, as if any other way is wrong or lesser. It is not until we understand that each of us consists of different, but just as complex attitudes, that we begin to understand what it means to imagine others complexly. Look at your fellow graduates sitting to your right and your left. Imagine them complexly. Imagine the way that they may have been raised. Imagine the life they live each day that you know nothing of. The grief they may have undergone, the things that keep them awake at night, and the goals they wish to obtain. They are just a person trying to be someone the same way you are. We are about to walk across the same stage, receive the same diploma, and turn the page from chapter 12 to chapter 13. Yet not a single one of our chapters will read identically. Our time together here as a senior class will not be remembered by grades, popularity, or likes, but the relationships we built through compassion, empathy, and Tinder. Unfortunately, it may also be remembered by the global pandemic that seemed to rob us of what was supposed to be the best year of our lives thus far. However, the quarantine has allowed me to further understand the importance of empathy and selflessness. Social distancing has brought me closer to my peers and teachers mentally, rather than physically. I have begun to understand the necessary outlet that Warren Township has provided to each and every one of us. It has been a home away from home, a place where our differences are embraced and our unique ideas are given overwhelming support. With that being said, moving forward, I will never again take for granted the people and the place that I love most. To the future doctors, nurses, lawyers, engineers, entrepreneurs, athletes, Oscar winners, TikTokers, Bisco girls, and aspiring SoundCloud rappers, I encourage you to pop the bubble that separates you from your peers. I encourage you not only to empathize with others, but to embrace what makes you different, and embrace others for being different. In the future, we will use this diversity to create a better world. A world where the Almond parking lot is a lot bigger. COVID-19 is a thing of the past, and you imagine complexly. To the class of 2020, I want to thank you for allowing me to embrace what makes me different. I wish you the best of luck with chapter 13 and in continuing the rest of your novel. If you zoned out after the first of many John Green quotes, please never forget one thing. Once Blue Devil, always Blue Devil. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kaylee. Please welcome our second honored student presenter, Matt Rich, who will share his thoughts.
Well, here I am. I never thought I would be in the position of speaking on behalf of all 1,050 2020 Warren Township High School graduates. Am I nervous? No. How could I be? I presented a great speech to Mr. Parrott and a board of advisors. And guess what? My speech got picked. As you can see, I know the speech I wrote was great. The person who should be nervous is Mr. Parrott, because the speech that I wrote is not the one I'm about to present. All right, so let's do this thing. This famous quote by Michelangelo has always stuck with me. Every block of stone has a statue inside of it, and the job of the sculptor is to discover it. In life, we are both the block of stone and the sculptor. We literally have our own sculptures in our own hands. We just have to keep chipping away until we make something beautiful. August 18th, 2016, 8:25 a.m. The class of 2020 came through the halls of the Old Plain campus. Unless maybe you knew exactly what you wanted to do with your life since 8th grade, we are all slabs of stone. And if that's you, well, I envy you and I wish I was in the same boat. But for the rest of us, we were on a boat unsure of our destination. There was so much fear and anxiety. Questions like, who will I hang out with? Will I be alone at lunch? What extracurriculars will I take part in? Is puberty over? Even though we were terrified of what came next, we set our sails, hoping for the best while not knowing what awaits us on the other side. For some, high school was the best years of our life. We made so many friends. We were the coolest kids in class or a star athlete. All the girls and guys wanted to be with you. On the other hand, life cannot have its ups without its downs. I know this speech is supposed to be positive, but that's just not life. For some, high school was a quite different experience. Friday nights alone, no dates for school dances, or feeling left out. Nevertheless, we have all been sculpting ourselves for this day through 720 days of school. It took me a while to figure this out, but it was more than good grades that we were getting ready for. We were preparing for the rest of our lives. The staff members were here to challenge us, and by doing that, we became a little stronger and added shape to our sculpture. I'm sure we have all had different challenges. For me, 2 words really come to mind. The fields of study, I really had a hard time understanding. Girls and Spanish. And some of you might be thinking, man, Spanish is really hard, and that's the same thing I struggled with. Or nope, it was geometry class that got me. Or dang, it was extracurricular activities that got me. Or a boy broke my heart. Or you could be thinking, Matt's so tall, smart, and handsome. How could he have trouble with girls? To that I say, that's the same thing I've been thinking about. But it's not about me. The point is, we all have struggles that we go through. It's normal to struggle. It's normal to get knocked down. As Rocky said, it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get up. Now on July 12th, or whenever you're watching this, we are about to graduate from Warren Township High School. As we continue, it's important to know that we will never actually be complete. We will always be looking for details to add and ways we can clean things up a bit. We have made a lot of big cuts in a slab of stone over the 4 years. We have an image of ourselves that we did not have 4 years ago. What's next? This is a question that I have thought about for a long time. And if you haven't thought about it, let me invite you to start. The only person that can truly make that decision for you is you. Do not be afraid to follow your passion. For some of us, it's a 4-year university. That may be Harvard, Princeton, or wherever Jack Hovey is going. For some of us, we're going to community college. For some, we're going directly into the workforce. For some of us, we are going into the sciences. Some into art, some into music, some into writing, some into the military. There are a huge variety of paths that we are each going to take through life. But the one thing that unites us all is that each and every one of our paths converges here at Warren Township High School. Congratulations, class of 2020, Warren Township High School Blue Devils. I want to thank my mom and my dad. Have a great day.
apart, the lame, the weak, too afraid to start, the dreams that only came to pass them by. Here's to the broken man who stood and walked when he heard you can't, 'cause it shows me that faith is more than sight. Here's to the wandering child looking for a star to guide, pushing through the darkness of the night. Hold your hand up to your heart and know it's just a chance to start. I know that it might feel like it's too hard. Time to watch, grab a hand and make this day our march. Pulling down the walls we cross, fighting through the wars we lost, looking for the day when we have won. Time to watch, grab a hand and make this day our march. Pulling down the walls we cross, fighting through the wars we lost, looking for the day when we have won. All you need, this old world doesn't see. Someday we could all be free. We could change the world if we would just believe. 'Cause faith and love is all you need. This old world doesn't see. Someday we could all be free. Yeah, we could change the world if we would just believe.
Now it is my pleasure to introduce Superintendent Dr. John Algram for the confirmation of the class of 2020 as graduates to our Board of Education.
At this time, we will begin to prepare the presentation of the class of 2020 to our District 121 Board of Education. Members of the Board of Education, families, community members, the students being presented today have successfully completed all the requirements for graduation as set forth in Warren Township High School Board Policy and by the State of Illinois. It is my pleasure to verify and certify their completion of these requirements and to present Warren Township High School's 103rd graduating class to you for official commencements as graduates of this very special class of 2020.
Graduates, if you are not already sitting uncomfortably in your cap and gown, please make sure you at least have your cap and tassel with you when we are finished with all the graduates. Family's the best part of this, and unlike any other school ceremony, you do not have to sit quietly when the names are read. You can clap and cheer as loud as you want, whenever you want, for the students you are about to see. Here are the candidates for graduation in the class of 2020. Please enjoy. Graduating members of the class of 2020, can you please stand? No, really, can you please stand? Graduates, can you please move your tassels from your right to your left? Please join me in congratulating Warren Township High School's 103rd graduating class, the class of 2020.
I wanna stay right here, chilling with my friends for another year. I would walk away from the spotlight for the good life. Oh, come on, turn your hate into poetry, pain into power, enemies to friends, and your minutes into hours. I would walk away from the spotlight for the good life, for the good life.
We did it.
Class of 2020, we did it.